Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Delusional's Arcade. So in this episode, we're going to go ahead and finish up this if we can. This is the Miss Pac-Man, as you guys saw. It was a restoration where we swapped cabinets in the last episode. If you missed that series, you could always click up here and click on the series for the restoration from the beginning of when I acquired it, and then when I made the kind of change to kind of use this original side artwork with the stenciling on there. And the coin door here, we're going to swap out in this episode as well. I have a brand new one from a buddy of mine, along with the control panel from Joe Sable, the artwork, the bezel, the marquee. We're just going to kind of finish it up and, of course, crimp that harness, which has been very troublesome lately. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right in the video. Okay, now getting back into this, I just wanted to go over it real quick. I'm going to change out the coin door. I have a brand new coin door that you're going to see. I'll actually bring it over so you can see. It is amazing. I got it from Greg. Greg is a guy that he actually bought a Rampage that I had that I picked up in an earlier episode. But it's actually better because he had it for a while. He was holding it for me. Then I decided, okay, let's go ahead and get this done. So I contacted him. He actually still had it, which is great. And he mailed it to me. So I have it right here on the side. So this is it. We're going to put a brand new one in there. It's all been, you know, it's not powder coated, but it does have the hammered black on there. Redid all this. This is all metal. They're not the plastic ones. And the back looks just as good. So you have all that stuff here. You can see this little switch is off because that's where the lock would go. So I'm going to switch out the lock, and once that goes on, it'll kind of lock it in place there. So it is really a great restoration. We're going to pop that on there. We may keep this actually for the Gap Plus, but for now I'm going to stick it in there and then probably restore that coin door and then pop that back in at a later date. But this one looks good for now. Might as well pop it in there. It's kind of plug and play. You know, all we have to do is plug it in there, screw it in, and it should be good to go. So that's going to be later in the episode. Get the little locks that are on here. And we'll get this out because we're going to see if we can... Oh, I forgot there's one in the center on Pac-Man's. There we go. So this is the new overlay that's going to go on. I'm going to put that on. It's brand new from Joe Sable. He does amazing stuff. I'm going to hold it up to the original so you can see the difference. So you'll see this one right here. And then you got his artwork. I mean, it's great. The colors are pretty accurate, I would say. This one here doesn't really match if you put it up against here. I mean, there's so many of these made. Doesn't really match. This is a little darker, and that's a different red here. So, you know, and down here is a little bit. But this thing is pretty spot on when it comes to the original artwork. So I'm going to replace it with that. And what's cool about Joe's stuff is that I'll show you, he has the bezel on there. I'm going to go ahead and remove this one here. I can't wait to get this out. So I'm going to slide it out here. Now this is made of glass, but because it's glass, it's and it has heat and it gets cold and hot, the back tends to flake. So on this one, you can see here, it's flaking a little bit where this, you see how that just came off right there? So I'm not worried, I'm not gonna save it. What I may do is spray it down to kind of prevent further flaking, but I'm gonna use this temporarily in my Gap Plus until it's all assembled. So let me go ahead and put that on the side. And this here, I have a new one of these too, but this one is in such great shape, I'm going to leave it. But I did order a new plexi from Arcade Shop. They actually sell this plexi here. But I think I'm going to save that for the Gap Plus because this one looks like it's fine. The monitor actually has car tint over it as well. It's a sticker. I may remove that, do a tube swap, or even change out the monitor eventually and just leave this on here because I feel it's a little too dark being double tinted. But for now, I'm just going to leave it like I said. And this is Joe Sable's stuff right here. It's all reverse printed. It is plexi, but because he reverse prints it, it looks really good, and I won't have to worry about it, you know, getting scratched on top or anything like that. You can see it on his website or his YouTube channel. I'll link in the description. It shows how he put this together. It's pretty neat. So right now, I'm going to stick this in here. And I'll show you the difference between this and the other one. And of course, I think I got a couple fingerprints on it already, but not really that worried. So it fits in perfectly. You know, he makes it So it does, and now that you see this together, you can see that the colors are way better together, and it matches the whole cabinet. So I cannot wait to put this on. I'm gonna leave this in there for now. I couldn't help myself. But I'm gonna show you the marquee as well. Let's kind of go up and just put this here. You'll see these colors additionally match everything that's there. In addition to the bottom, you can see the pinks are pretty much spot on. That's the older one. This is the one that had the bolts, so I felt that I had no choice but to change it out. But he gave me the more recent one, which I think matches better. And because this has the pink in it, I'm probably gonna go with the pink T-molding. Not really too sure on that. I might go with the black. I like leaving things original, but because this is so cool looking, I might put the pink T-molding. I think it'll make it pop. What do you guys think? You know, I guess leave a comment in the comments and let me know. For now, I'm gonna finish up this episode, but in the future, I may revisit it just to change out the T-molding because it is a little worn over here. But still, that's what it's gonna be. I'm gonna swap that out. It's a perfect fit. He does everything amazingly. I'm actually gonna take it out of here so you can see the difference of how, and this is also reverse printed, by the way. So it's not like it's sandwiched. It's not like it's on top. He reverse prints it the same way where you can even see it has the outline of everything, and then he puts the white over it, and it's amazing. So really, really good quality stuff from Joe. It's gonna look awesome. I can't wait to have that on there. So, you know, even those two things right there, that, and then even the old control panel will make it look good. But next to all this stuff, you know, you'll want to have the new one. So that's what we're going to do today. Plus the coin door, this thing is going to look pretty amazing. Let me go ahead and we'll get back to the table like I originally promised, and we'll see if we can tear this thing apart. Okay, so I have everything set up here on the table. This is the panel itself. It's missing a screw here, which we identified on the side over here. So this one didn't have a nut on it. It must have fallen out, I guess, when we were working on it. But it's good that I have this because I compared it. I actually got it on Mike's Arcade. This is the SKU number on it. It's CBC PMW, and it comes with the nuts and everything. There's two sets. Actually, there's one set here and then another set here. I believe it's 6 total. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's actually 8. Sorry, there's 8 total. And you can see the ones on the side right over here where these are. And, you know, these are in, they're in okay shape. I could have taken like a wire brush to it and cleaned them all and stuff. But because I was missing the nuts, I mean, I'm sure the nuts are common. I just said, you know what, let me get brand new ones anyway. Why not? Make it look, you know, make it pop, because the control panel is like a hood of a car. It's like really important. That's the first thing you see when you play a game. And I wanted to make sure it was good. So that's basically what was in there. I took it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the rest apart. Now here's the comparison. If you guys wanna see the old artwork versus the new, I'm gonna hold up the new one right here. You can see there's a couple differences. I think, if you know, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think this one is a more recent version. They had the stenciled version on Ms. Pac-Man, and then they had this version here, which was the, you know, on the side, they had the side art that was a decal, which they released later, so in the later machines. So I'm thinking this is really made to match the decal version. That's why you have the brighter pinks and stuff, and it's a little different, like with the font. This one's surrounded by black, and that one's just, you know, yellow there. So I'm gonna get rid of this no matter what. I mean, this pretty much is the same too, the little copyright sticker and all that, and it's pretty close. Like I said, this to me matches the stencil a little better, and it also matches the bezel, which I'm getting done as well. So I'm happy with this. I also noticed that the thickness of this, you know, it's good, it's nice and thick and everything, and it's durable. But this one here has more of a, you can kind of lift it and it feels thicker to me. Especially if I go over here, I can actually lift it up right here. Kind of has a couple layers. You can see it. I'm actually going to break it up here so you can see it. There's this one here. That's the top layer. Then there's another layer underneath, which is right there. So this is probably just the adhesive on there. I'm going to try to get it off as best as I can. So to remove all this, you know, the adhesive underneath, I usually don't even bother with citrus strip or anything. I just go straight to a wire brush and it just takes it right off. So I usually get it down to bare metal because sometimes underneath the paint you'll have rust and stuff. This is smooth finish. That's how we want it. Typically I'd measure from the side to make sure, like, you know, it's you know, where it's supposed to be at. But because we have you know, this one's already kind of has everything all set. I'm actually gonna not rely on that because it could come out crooked. What I'm gonna do is put this on over it later. You put a flashlight underneath, it shines through, and you can actually see the outline where it's supposed to be positioned, and that's how we're gonna do it. I also have some Simple Green over here. You can dilute this if you want. I just basically put it in there so I can kind of throw all the parts right into there. I'm just gonna soak the few that are up here because there's a few up here that I can't, really get to reproduce. I already kind of looked at it, like this one here. I tried shining it up and it looks pretty good, so I may use that versus these, but I'm gonna soak this anyway and throw it in there. It can't hurt, and then I'll hit it with a wire brush later. Most likely I'll screw it back in here because they're really easy to take out. I'll show you in a second here. Let's see, where is my tool set? Let me actually open it up real quick. And I'll take this out, and I have this one right here, so. All right, so I'm gonna quickly take this out so I can show you what I mean, but let's see here. So it's really easy to take out. Once I remove everything and I polish it down, I'm most likely gonna screw this back in real quick. They don't really serve any purpose. I guess they're supposed to, I think this is just supposed to look like a metal plate that's on here. It just gives it a look, because they really don't serve any purpose. They're not holding anything down. They're not holding this down because it has adhesive underneath, so make it easier. That one kind of is filled with crud, so I can't really do anything on that. And same thing with that one, so I gotta figure out what to do. I always recommend people getting this little tool here. Yeah, that's working really good. Kind of pointy here with a tiny little hook. And it's really meant to get plaque off teeth. And you can order these little kits on Amazon. And I use them for everything. I use them to take out wirings, from connectors. Kind of slip in this end right there and just get everything you gotta get. But for now, this seems to be working okay. Yeah, there's a lot of rust and dirt in there. Hopefully we'll get enough so we can get the screwdriver in there. You can see the rust I'm leaving behind. All right, let's try that. All right, that worked. Cool. All right, let's see how that works. Yep, fits right in. Cool. So that'll be soaked, get the dirt and stuff out of there. So first thing I want to do is get this to be flat, and you have to take this joystick out because the joystick won't fit. The ball is too big to fit in the hole if you pull it out. So once I remove these bolts, you got to pull it down, and you can't get it properly. So you have to take this E-clip off right there. And I do have some pliers that I got. They're right here. So you just got to be careful that this thing doesn't go flying across the room. I'm going to use this actually to take it out because I kind of can just control it a little better. And now that it's out, you can slide it out. So this I usually toss in there too. And you can see it's pretty rusted. So hopefully it'll still come out. Yeah, it looks like it will. So this is how you do it. I'm not sure if this goes either way, but look at all that dirt in there. Wow, that's crazy. So that's going in there. It's going to soak. I'm going to pull the joystick out. I think there's a grommet that's inside. It's rubber here that I'm going to kind of clean later. We'll worry about that later. But this here, I'm going to take it out. It looks pretty worn. This part goes down, and then this part goes up. So it goes on like that. And look how dirty my hands are already. So I don't think there's anything in there. I can stick that in the water. This you can stick in a drill chuck. Kind of put the edge here and spin it and put some sandpaper here. Since it's super dirty, I think I'm going to go ahead and, I don't think this top part unscrews. I think it's all one piece. So I'm just going to stick the, kind of put it in like that, just so the metal part is in there. And I'll just give it a turn just to soak a little bit before I sand it. And now we have this here. So I'm going to go ahead and label this. I think I should do it more discreetly, so I'm not going to put like up, down, left, right. I'm going to go ahead and just put 1 dot for up, 2 for down, 3 for left, and 4 for right, because I always state it in that order. 1, 2, 3, 4, which is up, down, left, right, so I'll know, kind of a code to myself. So the way it is that this is going up here, and when it goes up, it's actually pressing down on this one. So this right here would be up, so I'm just going to put one little dot right there. And then down would be opposite, obviously, so that would be this one. So I'm going to put 2 little dots here. 1, let me bend this. 2, and then left would be this way, which would make the joystick hit this one. So I'll put 1, 2, 3, and then this one here would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So to me that looks a little better. When you're first looking at it, you don't really notice anything, you just see little dots, as opposed to the letter U. I don't know, to me it looks unprofessional. It looks like whoever worked on it didn't know what they were doing. So now we can kind of lay it flat, right? And now we can take away everything else and take everything off. So I think what we'll do is we'll go at this angle here so you can see what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and take these out first. And the easiest way to do it is just unscrew them right here. Kind of lift up a little bit. And a lot of times it's hard to get these off right there. Okay, and I'll do the same thing to this one. Usually these are tightened by hand, so you can take them out like I just did. Sometimes I'll throw these in just to clean them up. It's not going to do anything bad to them. This comes off. This comes off. I'm trying to remember if I ordered new buttons for this. I can't remember. Did I order ones? Well, anyway, I'm going to take them out from this side. They can still be worked on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to soak these and clean them up. So I'm going to use this little tool again, just to pop it off without having it fly across the room. Got to be careful. Sometimes this piece of plastic is brittle and it'll break. So you got to be careful how you pry it off. But I'm kind of bracing it on the thicker part on the bottom there, so that goes in there. Then you have a little washer. And then this should come right out with the spring and everything. And the spring usually is rusted most of the time. But I found if I stick it in simple green, it kind of gets rid of that. Look how dirty these are. That's crazy. So I'm going to stick that in there as well. And then this here, just stick the whole thing in as well. You can kind of get rid of all this stuff. This thing, again, it's really good, the dental pick. You can kind of get all the crud out. It looks like something spilled on there, like soda or something. So I'm kind of scraping it off ahead of time. And leaf switches, I usually don't put that in there. I'll maybe wipe them down with simple green once we put it back. And now we just want to take this out. So just 1, 2. These aren't really on too tight anyway. That one was actually. And oh, looks like, yeah, that one was missing. We already knew that. So I'm going to save these anyway as spare parts, but most likely, you know, I'll replace them with the nicer ones. So I didn't have to rebuild this, but why not? You have it open, right? So you might as well. So now I'm just going to kind of push them through. Grab them from the other side. There's those right there. And then this one. Along with, oh, and it does have a washer. At least that one does. Actually, you know what? It doesn't. That's actually part of the artwork that got caught underneath. You see that? It's kind of blue. So that's garbage. And the last one is out. And then at this point, you have the harness, you have that connector, you have this. Should all come right out. And then of course you have the dust washer, which is underneath, which I'm going to soak. Stick that in there. Look at that. It's really dirty. I'm going to go near my garbage and kind of get rid of most of it. So this is going to probably need a wire brush on there too to get this rust off. And then typically, I want to know if I have like this polish for like my tools, which puts like, it's kind of like WD-40. I may, after I sand this, kind of just put a little bit on a rag on it just to prevent it from rusting in the future. But this grommet here, Wonder if it needs replacing, because I think I have that grommet. I believe I have it on hand. But I'll do that when I rebuild it. Wonder if I should take it apart now and start soaking stuff, because I really want to soak this piece that's in there. The thing is, I have to take this off, and then let me just double check. If I went up, right, that would hit this one right here, and that's the one with the 2. So it goes on this way. So if I push that up, it's going to push down on this one, and that's number 1. So that's up. So this is the way it was oriented. Again, I'm going to take that marker, and I'll just notate real quick. A dot here and a dot there. That's going to tell me that that's up towards the panel here. You know, little codes for yourself. Nobody will ever know. But look at that. That's all rusted. And then here too. It's kind of just like dirt got caught in there and just stayed there. So it's kind of gross, but it'll be nice once we get done. This isn't too bad. I thought it'd be a lot more rusted. It looks like it's going to be fairly simple. You can see the overspray on here. And typically you can see this here is like a little thing that's supposed to seal the game. It's like a piece of rubber. I'm going to try to take that off. I don't think I'm going to reuse it. Although I might. I don't know. Probably not. I'm just going to toss it and not even worry about putting it back on. Again, that stuff will come right out when you use the wire brush. Oh, doing pretty good where it's coming off. Nice. Because we got to get it stripped completely. Pretty simple design. I've actually worked on a Galaxian as well. It's a little more complex because there's a different joystick in there. It's a 2-way. So that goes on there like that. These come right out. Big difference. They're actually good. They're not rusted. So I may be able to just sand those or throw them in a tumbler, but we'll go ahead and get this done. Let's go ahead and see if we can take this off as best we can. I'm trying to get under both of those and it should come right off. Yeah, everybody's like, use a heat gun. I could, but you'll see. This stuff will come off like butter. Okay guys, so this is it. I actually, I had to just use it. It's actually pretty easy. I literally just went like this and put it down. Like you could see, this is the residual stuff that's left over, but the hard stuff, which was like it was like a black, I don't know, like film sticker that I had. I literally just went like this and was able to peel it and move across, and most of it came off pretty easy. Like within, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes I was done. Wasn't bad at all. All this here, there's still some sticky stuff you can see when I do this. That's all gonna come off when I hit it with that wire brush. And you'll see like that wire wheel that I have either on the drill or on the grinder. I mean, it's like this big wheel that will just blast it out. So let me go ahead, I'll get some blocks of wood. We'll set this up outside and we'll just hit it and get it down if I can, or close to the bare metal. This doesn't look rusted here on the side at all on this end. So it's nice and smooth, but we might get it down like over here. This is just like scratches and stuff, but I'll try to get down as best as I can, and then we'll hit it with some satin black Rust-Oleum, which has primer built in to really seal it. I'll probably do underneath here too, just a little bit. You know, here definitely, because this is where the rust is. But, you know, over here, and I'll just end up spraying the whole thing. I'll probably spray this side first, and then let that dry and cure, and then do this side as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, before I go outside, just kind of get this done. I'm going to just take it apart here, just to get stuff soaked. I'm going to use the Simple Green, which I have here. You know, it's a whole bunch of my parts all in there. And I might as well get this done as well, so I figured why not. So let me put that on the side. So this here, if you take this off, you can take this off. You can kind of just bend this slightly to get in there. This actually has that plastic piece, which I want to take off. But what I'm going to do first, because I want to get this piece out of here, I'm going to go ahead and get this. I don't think that fits here. Let's see if we can. Just going to go ahead and take this out. All right, so there's one. And I'm not going to put these in the Simple Green at all. I'm just going to go ahead and remove them. So this joystick is pretty proprietary where the bolts won't line up. You actually need this on there. It's like this adapter to get it properly on the panel. You can't just stick a regular old hap on there. It just really won't work. You'd have to modify the panel and drill new holes on it. So anyway, you know, so these things, they're always worth rebuilding here. So this should come out now. Let's see if it'll let me. There we go. So there it is. Goes in this way, so the top part actually goes up, and then the other part goes down. So I'm gonna stick this. This is really what I wanted. It's kind of like rubbery a little bit. Maybe it's just my imagination. I guess it's just plastic. So I'm gonna toss that in there. I'm kind of gonna leave that together there, and then I'm gonna take this part out here, which you can kind of get into without really messing the leaves up at all. All right, so that goes there, and that goes there. And let me take this piece out, kind of slide it that way. And this part goes up, that part goes down. You can see it actually has the grabby stuff. I don't know what that's called. I guess it's the washer, the lock washer, kind of is imprinted on that. So that's the way it goes. So that's going to go in there as well. And as far as this comes off. And I'm going to put that on the side. And then this grommet, it looks pretty good. It's in really good shape. I'm not worried about this actually. The people who we got the machine from, I believe they said that they had replaced the joystick, so it's very possible that's why it's so good. I might just leave that in there because it felt fine when I was playing. Well, I'm taking it out anyway. I think I have a replacement for this. I have to double check. But I still want to take it out just to see what's going on with it. So this comes right out. Yeah, see it has all that dirt and gunk in there. So I'm gonna clean that out. I'm not gonna soak this because I don't want it to get all messed up. But this is, I'm just kind of seeing if it's rotted. It seems like it's an okay shape. Might be able to survive. Usually has like a metal piece inside the grommet. But this one seems fine and it goes on this way. So I'm gonna go ahead and use simple green on that, but I'm not gonna soak this because I don't want to soak it just yet. I don't want it to deteriorate. And then I might hit this with a metal brush as well. Because I have to do that definitely outside. So now we have this whole piece, but that's how it assembles. This basically goes on top of it like that. I'm just gonna clean this up. I'm not gonna hit this with any metal brush. I might hit this part here. It looks like a little bit of rust is here. Maybe I'll spray it just to keep it contained and just leave this on there and not really worry about it. I'll have to see. I have to definitely clean it. So yeah, now that we have everything soaking, let me double check. I'm gonna go right now and try to find this piece and see if I could find the replacement. Okay, so I did find some stuff that I had ordered from Arcade Shop a long time ago for my Zookeeper sticks. I'm not sure if these would fit. Looks like these are too fat. These are probably for the Wyco Robotron sticks. I have replacements and they're really stiff. Like they're really stiff. This one you can feel kind of moves around a little bit. So let me see. I think this might be a direct replacement for that. I'd gotten these. These are a little softer. Yeah, these are definitely them. I'm pretty sure. And they look pretty identical here. Let me see. I think it goes that way actually. And then if I flip it, yeah. So these are brand new. I might use these just for the heck of it and then put this on the side just in case they break. but this is totally acceptable to use. It's not torn, broken, or anything. Sometimes you'll see tears all along here, but this one looks fine. So let me see if it'll fit. So this part goes down. Yeah, it's a perfect fit. So I do have these on hand, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm definitely going to clean this no matter what. So I'll leave it out for now. But that's going to go in there. So I'll put this back in the bag for now so I don't forget what's what. And I think that's it. On these over here for the Robotron, I think they come with springs too, yeah. So the replacement spring as well. So this is the kit you can get from them. You can actually get the whole joystick from them now, which are 4-inch sticks for the Robotron. We're actually going to rebuild another control panel. I'll probably do that in the future. For my buddy here, we have these sticks here. I'll just show you a quick example. This is kind of getting off topic, but you'll see that this is nice and stiff. It's a little worn, but this one here, see how it flops around? It's because this underneath here on the Wyco stick is completely broken. I can see it right now. It's totally separated. Can you see that in there? So if you're looking in here, right there, let's see if I can get the angle. You can see that I'm twisting it around. That's not supposed to be flopping around. That black piece is actually part of the grommet that just broke off. So we're going to replace that. I'm going to take these sticks, probably recycle them, and this is going to be a cloak and dagger panel that I have to build in the future. I got stuff from GAC. Chris GAC was cool, and he gave me the bro price, and he does quality stuff and reproductions for panels. So I went to him. I said, "Hey man, hook me up," and he did. So I told him I'd definitely have it on the channel, the rebuild that I'm doing on that. And the cloak and dagger is my buddy Jason that you saw in that last barn raid. You'll see the cloak and dagger stuff there. Okay, so it turned out it was a little too dark outside. So I'm gonna postpone that. You know, just doing this. I actually cleaned it up with some simple green, but I noticed that not only was it rusted here, but if you look inside, it's a little bit on there. I might be able to get like a brush in there just to kind of scrape it a little bit. This I can definitely get with the wheel, you know, the wire thing. And then from there, I'm just going to spray it, you know, where I get an angle here. I'm going to paint this, I think, black, just to give it a coating so it won't keep rusting there. And then this, I was thinking of just leaving alone, but I may just hit it with some Rust-Oleum because I did, you know, take it off. I may use like a scouring pad or something on it, but I don't think I'm going to use a brush because it's not really too bad, and that Rust-Oleum really does, you know, keep it on the wraps there. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this out. We'll start working on this stuff. You know, just clean them up. Look how good it looks when I do that. Get all the dirt off. Yeah, soaking them really did help. Same thing here. Take that, and then this here. Same thing. That's for the control panel itself. I may hit it with a wire brush maybe a little bit later. Drill, because I have a soft brush I can use. This here, we'll get it all clean again. There you go. Nice. This one here is super dirty. Definitely better than they were. I might actually let these soak a little more overnight. But in the meantime, let me see what else I can take out. Same thing with this, you know. And this one I can polish up with the Novus, where you put this on a drill bit and make it look nice and shiny. Let's see what else I can grab here. This is the, I'm going to put this flat here. And there it is. It looks pretty good. So we can put that on the side. This one here, I'm probably going to end up soaking. But what I'll do is I'll just clean off this area that's inside there. It's all dirty. All right. All right. Looks pretty good. I'll let that dry on the side. That's it right there. these there. So these are the little screws that are on the outside. I actually found replacements for these. When I went to the hardware store, I might use them instead, but they're exactly the same. I think this part on top, the head is a little bit smaller, but I might have to just hit that, you know, like we said, we put it on the panel and we hit it with a wire brush. That one's for the joystick. No, sorry, this one here is for the joystick. And then these two smaller ones, they're slightly smaller. Yeah. Or for the buttons here. Cool, all right. So these still need soaking, I think. I'm gonna throw those back in. Okay, so I'm thinking about something here. I know I can put this in a chuck, no problem, where I put it in the drill chuck and I can hold a piece of sandpaper and sand it. Same thing with the top. I also looked at this here. Let me kind of take it out and dry it a little bit. And this is pretty simple where, again, you can just put it in a drill and turn it and kind of polish it up with the Novus 1, 2, and 3. But this here does not fit. So I have kind of a bag of stuff here where I'm going to try to figure out, these are just miscellaneous parts I've had. And I wonder if I'm able to put something like this here, like that. Maybe if I can find a shorter one. Yeah, let me try. It's about the same length. I'm trying to find one that's smaller. But these are all really long, so I'm not going to worry about it. Let me see if I can take this. That actually fits in there pretty good. So I'm going to take this one off here. And I'm going to use the washer because I want to put the washer on here to not really mess it up. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this on here and put it pretty snug. I'm not going to make it tight, but I want to be able to put it inside a drill chuck. I'm just tightening it by hand because I don't want to crack it or anything. And then I can put that in a drill chuck and it'll hold it firm enough, see where it won't slip. And then I can just put the rag on top of it like that. Because all you want to really polish is this edge. You don't really care about the inside. You want the edge here, so it'll kind of look like that. See how that's white and this is more of a yellow? So we'll see if we can get these two going here. And of course, there's just a lot of simple green flowing. So let me get the drill. I'm going to see if I can get those three things going. I'm going to grab some sandpaper as well while I'm at it. And then we can see where we're at. Okay, so I have Novus 1, 2, and 3. Let me actually put this on the side here. So basically, it's really strange that they name it 1, 2, and 3 because I think it should be 3, 2, 1. So you actually use number 3 first for heavy scratch remover. Then you use fine, and then you use the polisher. So I don't know why they put it 1, 2, and 3. It really should be 1, 2, and the final step would be 3. But it's all backwards. This stuff is really good. I got these big bottles because they have smaller ones. I'll put a link in the description as well. But these things work awesome. You actually just put it on a rag. Did I get a rag? I don't know if I got a fresh rag or not. Let me see if I can go ahead and grab that. But basically, you want to put that on a drill chuck. So let me go ahead and get my rags and drill, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, so I grabbed my drill. I suggest using, I mean, you don't really need that much power, but because you're having it on for extended period of time like this, batteries really don't work well. So I have mine has a plug, it's an older drill, but whatever works for you guys. Then I have the 3M, you know, or any other brand. I use like 220 grit. 220 grit basically is the, you know, what they usually come in. You can get the circular discs too. I was going to use that, but then I found this. I'm like, oh, I'll just use this instead. But this is 220 grit. I probably don't need the whole thing, so I'm going to kind of cut off a piece here or rip off a piece, you know, just to conserve stuff and not use it all at once. So I'll just put this back in the package here. If I need it later, I can always get it. So there's that. And let's see. So I'm going to do the joystick first, and what I'm going to do is basically just, I'm going to take this out and put this in right by the tip. So the tip you really won't get. You'll have to do that by hand. You want to get as much as you can there. So, and what I'm going to do is just hold it here and sand away. So you don't really want to go too fast, it'll cause a lot of friction. And you can already see it's already, I'll show you in this direction. So you really want to wrap it with 2 hands, but I'm showing you this just so you can see what it's doing. See how it's leaving something on here? I'm just moving it around on the sandpaper to get different areas. All that, can you see that? That's all getting taken off, so. Now you see the difference when I take it out right now. So I'm going to take it. Can you see that? So now for the rest of it, unfortunately, it's going to be a little hand labor, but at least you don't have to do the whole thing. I usually turn it in one direction, but you can see that's all coming off. Wasn't too bad. All right, that looks good. And let's stick the rest in there. I'm gonna put it in a little deeper. And I'm gonna put it on here, not directly on the joystick ball there. Just gonna spread it so it sticks in the cloth. And that's it. And let's see if we can, it might not be enough, but just want to coat it a little bit. The top. And then, let me put a little more here. This is kind of abrasive a little bit. It's kind of like just cream with like fine particles in there. Just spreading it around. Now I'm just going to kind of just put this on there. So basically you'll want to do this, see how it's going through, get every part of it, but what I'm doing is I'm going to cover it here and just kind of grab it and kind of swirl it around. You don't want to do it too fast because it'll burn your hand. But you can see it's kind of dulling, you see that? That's exactly what you want. So you want it to dull a little bit. I'm going to put some more on here. Just to remove like the scratches and stuff. And I'm going to put it on here again. Hold it on there. Gonna go all around different angles. All right, so that looks good. It's nice and dull. And we're gonna put the final stage on there, which is the spray one. So this one, I usually go directly on it. So let me just move to a clean part of the towel here. All right, and then I'm just gonna spray it down. You know, you spray it a few times, polish it, do it some more, polish it some more. And let me see if I can get it on here too. And then I'll do that. All right, yeah, that's good. I can feel it on there. All right, I think one more spray should do it. And we'll polish it up. Let me get the cap because I'm done. Let's see how it came out. I'm going to dry it. All right, I think that looks good, and it still feels textured, you know? I didn't get rid of the bumps on the top, so I'm happy with that. Looks really good. So there's that, and then as far as the buttons go, let's try this one first, actually, since it's experimental here. Yeah, that should do it. And now we're going to start with Novus 3. Trying to remember what there it is. It's right over here. I'm going to add a little bit more. And I don't care if the screw gets all full of stuff. I know it's going to go in there. We'll clean that later. But for now, we'll at least get it going. So I'm going to kind of coat it first. All right. So I'm going to take this off. We'll get to the next one here. This one you got to be a little more careful because it's plastic and you don't really want to make the chuck squeeze on it too much. Just ever so slightly. There you go. Just to get enough friction there. So I'm going to go ahead and put some more Novus here. All right, so that's a little dull. And it looks pretty good. It's even color. That's really what you want. And let's move on to the next phase, which is the brown. And I forgot this is a little tougher to take out. I probably put a little too much for the button. So I'm going to spread it out a little bit. And then we'll see here. Yeah, it looks good. All right, final phase, polish. I'm going to put it directly on the towel here. Let's see. All right, nice and shiny. Look at that. Looks really, really good. All right. And you can see some of the stuff got in there, so I'm gonna clean that out. I'm gonna actually use the spray here to get in there and clean it. And let's put this thing back together. So you get the spring, right? Goes inside. Put that inside like that. And already, look at that. It looks really good. I should have actually kept one of the older ones to show you, but this thing looks really good. So let me do that. I need the ring here. So you put like a washer and then one of the small E-clips. I got to figure out which is the small one. I think this one here. There you go. And that's it. There's the button. Looks perfect. Look at that. Nice and shiny. Okay, so now that this is on, I'm going to go ahead and do this one with the 3 2-in-1 of Novus, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so just to show you again, it's Novus 1, 2, and 3. They came out pretty amazing. Look how shiny they are. That's crazy. They look almost brand new. The fact you can see a tiny little scratch on that one, like where somebody scratched it with a key or something. But I'm actually going to make that player 2. It's hardly ever used compared to 1. But I like the fact, I could have replaced them, but I like the fact that they're, you know, buttons that were on this machine like, you know, 30 something years ago. So it's really cool. So these came out awesome. And as far as everything else, I'm not going to bother, you know, polishing these up because obviously these are just parts that go in. But I will end up lubing them a little bit just to make sure they're clean and lubed up so that everything works fine on the joystick. These here, I might try to sand them because they won't fit on the chuck here. I don't think they will. I could give it a shot, but I don't think they will. Let's see. I might. I might. Let's see. Yeah, I guess it'll fit. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. I'm going to try sanding them now. Oh, that'll work. Cool. Yeah, you can see the dirt and rust coming off of it. It's pretty shiny. Nice, that looks really good. So I'm going to take it out. Check it out.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head because there are so many things that I left unsaid. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that is not reality. If you are echoing around inside these parallel dimensions all alone, now I'll find you in my dreams. My heart rages around like an ocean in my head. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that is not reality. If you are echoing around inside these
All right, so it's a few days later. I actually capped the monitor. I took it out and got rid of the caps. You can see the burn-in. I actually have this thing turned up so you can see the actual burn-in on there. But when you turn it off, you really can't notice it. Plus, don't forget, we're going to put the plexi over it. I'm actually going to install that now, and the plexi should go over it. You can see right there, you can see the burn-in, and over here you can't. So that's how it's going to look. This monitor, believe it or not, was such a pain because the caps for it weren't really standard. So luckily I had tons of cap kits everywhere and I managed to put everything together. The cap kit that I got from Arcade Parts and Repair was for a different Pro Max. So it was missing a few caps, but I ended up finding them between all the caps that I had. So yeah, I replaced all of them, gave it a new B plus cap as well, and did all that, dialed it in, and pretty much looks great. And like I said, it's gonna look amazing once we put this over here like that. You can see, just look at the detail on that. Really cool. So this is the stuff I did outside. It came out beautiful. Sprayed it, did everything to it, came out really shiny. I'm just letting it cure. These are the brackets right there. The brackets are probably done by now. at that point. So they came out really nice. I sprayed them with satin black. Did the inside, did the outside. I have brand new screws. So we're probably going to put these on first, along with the brand new marquee. So let's go ahead and set up the camera and we can go ahead and do that. This is what used to be on there. And it's just a little different, the new one. And it had these bolts here for some reason. Don't really know why. I'm going to put that on the side. And the new one, before I do that, I'm actually going to get the bracket. Let me grab it. All right, so let's put it in there. This is it right here. Stick it on there, look beautiful. There we go. And now I can kind of tighten this a little bit. And middle one, it's right there. I'm getting excited. This looks awesome. So now this one, I want to kind of push up against that. I have these little, there's like this thing that you put on the side that hides. I don't know what I did with them. I'll leave them off for now, but there's like these little things that slide on that kind of block the light, but it's pretty close, so I'm not going to be worried about it right now. I could always fix it later. So let me put the center one in first. All right, guys, so I turned on the light. I want to show you exactly what I did up here. You know, I left it all original up here. You could see it still needs to be painted and stuff, but I left it. I thought it was pretty cool. I have the original stuff on there. This here is supposed to be all blue, but I just left it black as is because that's how it was. To me, it just shows like what it's been through, and I really love it. I just got to clean it. It's pretty dusty. But here is the bracket. So I have the nice screws on here. These are the ones I got from Mike's Arcade that are security bits, and they came out really nice. Looks awesome. I can't wait. So yeah, I'm definitely going to go with pink T-molding. I think it's going to match this. I wanted to do this color blue. It's a kind of like a light blue. I don't know. What do you guys think? Pink T-molding, light blue? Either way, it's going to pop. You know, it's going to set off this, or I can just leave it black, you know, the way it is. So I don't know. We'll see. If I use blue, I think I have that on hand. I may have to order the pink if you guys decide pink. But I might make a pop if I have the neon pink to match this down here, which is 3/4 inch. So let me know in the comments what you want me to do. I'm not going to do it this episode. Okay, so now we're finally back. Now that it's bolted in, we can put this on there. And I'm trying to find out where the hole is. There it is. All right, that's it right there. And then these actually hold them in. These screws right here are really rusty. I didn't even bother sanding them because they're going to be hidden and out of the way, so I don't really care. I'm going to put this up on here. Kind of fits in the groove right there. And look at that. It looks really nice. All right. All right, let's pop in the new one here. Look at that, beautiful. Cool, so now I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. You can see how it kind of complements it. See if I kind of just tilt down a little bit. That looks great. So now all I have to do is put the control panel on. So I have it right here. You can go ahead and put the artwork on it and put all the hardware in it, and there it is. Look how beautiful that looks. Can't wait to get that going. Came out awesome. We rebuilt the joystick already, did the buttons. Just have to put the overlay on there. All right, you know what? Let's swap out the coin door while we're here because we're still waiting for this to cure a little longer. I might let it cure overnight and just do it in the morning. All right, so let's figure out, let's take this off here. Excellent. So now I can just take it off. And I believe, I'm looking back here, there's like bolts here. Yep. There's 1, 2. And I think the actual screws are built in on the door itself. Pretty sure. Let's see. Yep. So it has washers that just came out. Boom. Out with the old and in with the new. So I'll open this here so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. And I do plan to take this door off. Not this door, but the coin door. Because I have to still get underneath the... there's some bolts sticking out there. But I'm not going to do that right now. There we go. All right, so now it's alive. So this is out. Yeah, midway locks are really finicky with this part right here, but I have a whole bunch of them. I think I got them on eBay. I can't remember. I got them a long time ago. But see how they're offset like that? They're not straight. So that's the kind you need to put in there. All right, I'll mess with it some other day. We'll just move on. But it does look really good. Check that out. That looks awesome. So, yep. Now let's just do the kick plate and we'll figure it out. Okay, so we're back. So I'm going to install the kick plate. And I do have an older one. I'm just going to show you here. This one is off of my Super Pac-Man. And I ended up just getting a new one from Mike's Arcade. So they have it here. It's pretty cool. I've done it before. I've had it on my, I actually have it on my Super Pac-Man. And I kept this just for reference, but this one has, if you look at it, it has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 staples to get it in there, which is crazy. I'm gonna, you know, some people use automotive tape because they don't want to crack it, but this thing hasn't cracked. I've done it before. I'm using this pneumatic gun, and then I'm not using the staples that are super deep. I'm actually using the ones that are a little smaller. They don't go as deep, and it'll work fine. So I have that with my compressor here. My compressor's fully charged now, so I unplugged it so it wouldn't make any noise while I'm shooting. And then there's 2 different ways you can put this on. You can put it on this way here, or you can put it on upside down. I don't think it really does matter. Mine is actually like this on my Super Pac-Man. But on this one, I've looked online. It looks like the smaller parts up here, there's like a little ridge, goes up. So I'm just going to keep it together like that, and I'm just going to staple it on. So it kind of cups on the bottom. There's like a little ridge there. So that's really what does it. I don't know if you could see that, but here, let me see if I can bring it closer. But there's a little ridge that kind of goes underneath the cabinet, which hooks on there. Can you see that? So that's the top. And then this part kind of hooks under. So that's what I'm doing. I'm hooking it on the bottom and then stapling it in place. So there you go. That answered that question. So it fits in right there, nice and snug. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this to here. And it doesn't actually, if you can press it, nothing will happen. You actually have to have it down and then press it. Right now it's not charged at all, but I'm going to go ahead and open the valve. Let's see. Okay, I'll set it to about 80 PSI, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm gonna get these ends over here first. 1, and then right there is the other one. And then I'm gonna do the middle first. So the center, I would say, would be right about here. Goes down, kind of on this side of the coin door. So it's approximate. It's not going to be a big deal. And you could touch these up later. I don't. I think it's fine. And then this one here. And the last one down here. I think that's good enough. It's not going to come off. It is a little floppy here. I might put some actually over here. So that's what I did on my other one. I put them in between. And perfect. So they look fine to me. I like it like that. But if you don't like it, you can just touch it up with black paint. But for me, that works. I'm going to go ahead and take this off so no one gets hurt and cover this back up. This thing was like, I want to say 20 bucks at Harbor Freight, and it's been the best thing. I use it all the time. I use it for T-molding as well. It's good to put it on the back. You hold this in on the bottom and on the back, and the T-molding never comes out. So, good stuff. Okay guys, so we're back. We're inside. It's the next day. This thing cured. It looks really beautiful. You know, I gave it several coats. Made sure that everything's all smooth here on the edges, and it looks, you can see it has a reflection. It looks amazing. So I'm gonna put this on here, and you know, you can't see through it, so it's gonna be a little hard to kind of line up the holes here, but I have a little trick I'm gonna show you guys to show you what I mean, like especially over here. So right now you can measure from the edges if you want. I didn't even bother doing that. So what I'm gonna do is you take a flashlight. This one's super bright. You get these free, usually at Harbor Freight, and you stick them underneath here. Can you see that? So when you do that, it illuminates it, see? And you put it right over it, and you can kind of see where they go. So you have to just center that up, center this one up over here. That looks pretty good right there. And then, you know, kind of figure out the rest. I'm gonna hold this there, put it underneath here. That's where the joystick is. So it might be a little bit off, but I'm gonna try to get it as close as possible. I'm also gonna make sure that you could see here, you can see the bolts where they come through. There's that one there, there's that one there, and so on. And then over here, once I get these on, they look pretty good. They should have screw holes. There we go. So here's a screw hole. Can you see that right there? So that's one of the screw holes. I could punch a hole in there, screw it in. Same thing over here. Punch a hole in and screw it in. So this looks pretty good. And what I'll do when I'm done is I'll just put a piece of tape right down the middle. All right, so that's on there. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do, it's pretty simple. I'm gonna go grab my squeegee, by the way. You know what, with this thick material, honestly, you do not need it. I guess you would on side art. I'm also not gonna use the wet method. I'm gonna use the dry method to apply it. So it's really important that you have extra sharp scissors. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put this side on first. So I'm gonna go ahead and peel it back. Just like so. And I'm gonna cut right over here. There we go. All right. And I'm going to do this by hand. Again, you could use a squeegee if you want, but this is really thick, this material. So I'm just going to apply it with my fingers here. Should be fine. Just make sure that there's no air bubbles whatsoever. And I'm holding it as I go. All right, just want to double check. Put this underneath here. Yep, that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to take this off now. This one too. Peel this back. And then basically take the rest off. I'm actually going to go get the squeegee because I want to show you how to use that if you decide to. So Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. I have it here. So this is actually, I guess you use this for Bondo. You can see it says Bondo on it. You create this yourself. What you do is you take the industrial strength Velcro and you use the end that's not rough. It's a smooth part. And you can see it's just one piece that I kind of just folded over. And you can kind of make your own. So this won't do anything to anything. It'll keep it all nice. And then I'm just going to kind of do that and just put it on. Kind of prevents it from getting air bubbles. Holding it so I could see. Let me actually move it down so you can see it. And there it is, perfectly applied. So let me get rid of this piece of paper here. And now I'm just gonna safely just make sure it's all on. I'm going from here out. I don't see any air bubbles whatsoever, no ridges because we did take it down to bare metal. Sometimes if you have like chunks missing with scratches, you'll have like a little ridge there. So you really got to get everything out to bare metal like we did outside. Move this over. All right. So now let's see. Yep, pretty much dead on. Awesome, and these are good too. So, all right. So now that we have this on, let's go ahead and cut the joystick hole out. And the way I do it, I always do it from the top here. So this is where it's at. I usually make a little plus. So I'm gonna go here and you kind of go to the edge, and it has to be sharp. I can't stress that enough. I usually make a little plus here. There we go. But this has to be sharp. Now normally you have the dust washer, right, that's on top. So if you screw this up, it doesn't look too bad because the dust washer kind of covers it, but the dust washer on this one is actually underneath. So you really want to be really careful on this one. So I'm going here, it's extra sharp. That's, like I said, that's the whole point of this. I'm gonna make it really sharp. Let me go this way. I'm actually gonna turn it around. It's just easier for me. And I'm gonna grab this stuff from underneath here. There's 1 and 2. Some of them are pre-cut, but I actually prefer if they're not pre-cut. That way it's just easier to do. But you see I'm just following along. I'm having my knife on the edge right there of the metal where I'm getting every single thing. So it's a perfect cut right there. But these are a little more forgiving because you have the lip of the button. See that little lip? There's like a tiny, tiny little lip right here that I'm trying to get to. All right, that's good enough. Now I'm going to put a test button in there just to show you. You'll see that, see how it's like, it has these little grooves right there? That's for these two things right here. There's one right there and one right there. So that way they don't turn. There we go. So that looks great. So there's that one, and then I'll put the other one in. Just to show you how it looks. There's the notches. And we're good to go. So that looks excellent. Okay, so we're back. So what I'm gonna do is now we have to kind of put these things in here. I'll show you right here. You have the 4 holes with the 4 screws. Let me see here, maybe this will work. I'm trying to see what size that is. It looks like it's 7/64. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try just doing it by hand here. Punching it through. Yeah, that works. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of cutting the edge. As I go along, you can see. Okay. That works. Cool. These are going to go right there. Wow, that looks so good. I'm going to flip it over. Now I can get rid of this. We don't need this flashlight anymore. And I believe they have to go outside. Don't put them like this. That would be backwards. So you want to kind of put them like this. And then a couple nuts and we're good to go. So I'm going to try putting these in, see if they fit. If they do, I'm going to use these instead, to the smaller ones. I mean, I guess they're okay. Let's try them again. Yeah, that works. You don't want to put it in too tight like I just did with that one. It's really just for looks. Serves no purpose whatsoever. And there should be a last one here. It's kind of quiet at my house right now. It's pretty late at night. Those look good. I like how they look there, rather than the bigger ones. So that's how it is, stock. They actually had screws on there. It would have been nice if they had like rivets or something, just to look nicer. But these X's right here are intentional. There we go. All right. Cool. That looks great. Look at that. Awesome. So it looks like I tighten these a little too much, but you have to in order to get it done because I see it just moving. So let me loosen them slightly, ever so slightly. Because they're kind of, what's happening is it's kind of taking the artwork, and you see that? And it's kind of making like a circle around it. It's making it lift up a little bit because it's going in so deep. But whatever. I'm not worried about it. All right, so now I guess we'll put this on the side for a little bit because I have to just take the joystick and kind of put it back together, and then we'll put that inside these things and make it go down and secure it. So, all right, so let me get rid of this and we'll go ahead and grab the other piece. Okay, so we're back. So I just want to make a note of something real quick. I thought I had a replacement that was suitable for this. It turns out, if you look at it really, really close, this one right here on the right is smaller than the one on the left. So it'll fit perfectly inside. You know, this is the original one here, and it fits perfectly inside there, no problem. This one here, it's really too tight of a fit. It doesn't really fit in there. Goes in that way a little bit, but won't pass this part right here. So that is the wrong one to use, so I'm not going to use it. However, this one, I guess it's going to clean up pretty well. We're actually going to throw some stuff on it now. I kind of got in there. It's just a little dirty. It's not a big deal. But it is working just fine. You know, you can see that it's not broken or anything. Usually like around here, you'll see it's torn. But it works good, so I'm going to use this one. So this is a plate that it came with. It is pitted. That's just rust. That I guess I could get that out if I sanded some more, but I decided it's fine. It's not a big deal. It was rusted a little bit, and I sanded it all down with just a wire brush. And I did use, the wire brush that I used was a fine wire brush versus a coarse one, so that's the one you want to get. When you put this in here, you want to put it down like that. This is the wrong way. You see it's a little pointier. See how it kind of, you see the difference in size, but this side goes down like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and put these 4 screws in. I believe, yeah, I used the driver for that. So let's see. By the way, it's always best to not use an electric screwdriver because sometimes you can over tighten stuff and strip it. I'm being super careful. That's actually not, it's not in like power mode, which is what I usually use it in, where it's like you can switch it here, or it goes a little slower, it's more powerful. I use the fast mode. But you always want to hand tighten it if you can help it. You don't want to strip stuff around here. So that's what I'm doing now. All right, so that's in there. It's good to go. So you'll put that on the side for now. And then this here, there's a piece that goes in. I actually pre-assembled it. I had taken these off just to clean it. But then I pre-assembled it, put it all back together like it should be. And then this piece here I cleaned out, which goes in there. And you can see there's like indentations versus this side. See how that's more popped up? If you put it wrong like this, it won't fit. It actually doesn't go in because it's too big, this piece here. So you want to have it face this way like that, and it'll kind of fit right into the groove where it can't move. And if you look on the other side, you'll see it actually fits right in there. See how I kind of lifted it out? It fits like a puzzle piece. So let me just take this out of the way. There we go. So yeah, so I'm going to take that, put these two on. There's one, and the other one's right here. Let me just twist it by hand. Okay. So now, I believe we put this on top of there, but before we do that, I know there's a way. I'm trying to remember how this goes, to be honest, I don't remember. I think this is just the thing, the actuator on the bottom, and then this stays like that. Yeah, I think that's what it is. So I could put this, go ahead and put this together, but as I put it together, I know you have to have something held in place there. So this goes on there like that for sure. And then I believe this piece here sticks in through here, and then that's what it is. But before I do all that stuff, I'm actually gonna throw a little bit of lube on here. I use silicone lube. You don't have to use this. I had a spray, I just can't find it, which I'd rather use because you could actually spray it directly on a rag and then just wipe it on there. But I'm just gonna take a tiny bit on my hand. Oops. It actually has a little piece of the panel on there, so I'm gonna take it off. There we go. So let's try it again. Take a little piece, just a tiny bit. And I'm gonna put very little on a Q-tip here. Let me just put a tiny bit more on the Q-tip. And I'm just gonna, what I'm gonna do is, because wherever it's contacting, I kind of want it to move around. And I'm just putting a slight amount on there. It's really, really thin. Not much. I'm actually gonna wipe a little bit away with the other end. But it should be enough just to get by. Same thing over here. I'm just gonna throw some on here. You can see it's a super, super thin layer to kind of simulate. I'd rather have, like I said, that spray that I had with silicone, but I just can't find it. And then last but not least, you want some on here. It's really little, actually. I gotta put a little more than that. There we go. That's a little better. I'm actually gonna spread it with this side. And then I'll, oops, a little more around here. So just to make it last a little longer and not have to worry about it. So that's gonna rub up against this piece here. So I'm gonna put a little bit on there. See if I can get it on there. There we go. All right, so that goes in there, just like so. Just basically place it in there. That goes down, and then we're gonna push this down so you can see the sides line up. And this isn't working too good. There we go. All right, you'll see on the side how it lines up. So I'm gonna grab the 4, put those in. See if I can do that. Actually, I'm just gonna hold it like this. I just put those in right there. I'm going to put these in over here on this side. Just going to make sure I lift it a little bit. All right, so I'm just tightening this by hand. Cool. All right, so that's all together. That's in there like it should be. It's going to be a little loose. Once you put the joystick in there, it'll be nice. I'm not going to put the joystick till I mount it. And so the way the joystick goes in, you have this piece on here. Now this was actually worn. You can see where it's white there. That was worn from rubbing on the inside of the joystick. So I'm going to just reverse it so that that worn part is up here. I polished it as best I could so that it's reversed, and then this is brand new, so it'll be less play. Okay, so that's on there good. And I'm going to put that over it like that. And now the nut is right here, which I'll slip underneath. And there we go. Okay, just gonna hand tighten it. And then this one here will go underneath. Fits like a glove, that goes on top. And then this goes in just like that. Okay. Trying to think if I should just use sandpaper or like really fine grit sandpaper or a piece of paper. I think I'm just going to be lazy and use this. People are probably cringing going, oh, don't do that, but it's only a start button, guys. Don't freak out. So I'm just going to put this in there, hold it down. Same thing here. And all right, so that'll make good contact there. Same thing with this here. And then this side. All right, I think that's good enough. And they seem to be the okay length. I think they're fine. All right, looks good to me. And now we're gonna stick this on here. So let me turn it around. We'll kind of do this, where again, we put this in the way I want it, which is that way, which is a little backwards. It used to be this way where it was worn. We're putting it on and we're sticking that in there. Don't forget the dust washer, you see it right there. Gotta make sure you get everything in there. And you gotta go, I'm actually looking to make sure it's in the right spots as I go through. It's hard to see at this angle because this thing is blocking everything, but I'm just basically threading it through. And then that goes like that. So basically I threaded it all the way through like it's supposed to be. And then on the end, you have this here. So it doesn't matter which way you put this on. Looks like this side might have been a little more worn because it was up. So if I flip it this way, yeah, I don't think it matters. I'm putting, there's like a dirt inside, so I'm just gonna flip it this way. I think it'll be fine. Yeah, so now that that's on, I can put the clip on. And I'm gonna Put it on that way. Excellent. Easy peasy. It's very possible. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it right there just to give it some tension relief. So let me take this one out real quick. All right, so this is ready to plug in. We should give it a shot. Look at that, guys. That looks pretty amazing. It's typical Ms. Pac-Man red with the buttons 1 and 2. They've been adjusted. All new bolts. That looks really cool. All right, let me go ahead and pop this on. So I'll switch angles and we can go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Look at that, guys. Beautiful. I'm going to clean it up in a second from the fingerprints, but it should fit on really nicely here. I'm just trying to think what this is for. Might have been for one of the cables here. Yeah. So I'm going to connect it and just put it on for now. So this here, this can just go on like that. Perfect. Okay guys, so we're back outside here. It's a couple days later. I actually decided not to do the repinning, and I'll tell you why. Because I really wanted to dedicate a whole episode to it. I feel it's super important. It's really technical, and I want to show you guys how to do it because I get tons of questions even after I show people. So I want to get in depth, and I'll show you exactly what tools to get. I'll have links to everything. And, you know, I don't want to jip you guys just by rushing it at the end and quickly doing it and having like a time lapse or something. So, yeah, I will get that done. So look at this panel, looks beautiful. This whole thing has all been restored. I'll have some before and after pictures right here if you want to see. So that would be the bezel, and then over here would be the marquee. And control panel and everything else. And, you know, I'm really glad this coin door. Greg, thanks again for coming through, you know, for saving it all that time. And also to Joe Sable, who did the artwork, and Mike's Arcade, who got me all the parts that I needed. And of course, Arcade Shop had a lot to do with it too, where I got parts from them for stuff. So yeah, so this is it. Thanks again. You know, I'm going to play a quick game right now just to show you the monitor, but I did rebuild the monitor. I'll give a close-up in 1 second. Okay, so I have it in the dark right now, but you can see the monitor right now, how I redid it. I resized everything so everything fits on the screen, nothing's squished anymore. It looks really, really good, and this does have burn-in. You just can't really see it too well because it's just set perfectly, and it's just so vibrant and looks amazing. I'm not gonna lie, was a hard chassis to cap for me because the parts are just so obscure. I did order a kit from Arcade Parts and Repair, and they didn't have the cap that I needed. It had some weird one that was like 8.2 UF, which was just really obscure. But I ended up finding it, believe it or not, in my pile of parts. So they were all new stuff. I did all that stuff here, and you know, it looks beautiful. So let's go ahead and play a game here. This is going to be the Pac-Man Plus that I'm going to play. This is Ms. Pac-Man right here, but I'm going to switch it over to Pac-Man Plus because that's a really fun game to play. This is the, right here is the Pac-Man Plus Ms. Pac-Man version of it. It's kind of like a hack, but I will switch it. So what you do is you just hold both buttons down, press right, you'll see the pause menu illuminate, and that's when you go up. And I'm going to go down to Pac-Man Plus options, and I'm going to play Pac-Man Plus Midway. Alright, so this is set to fast mode, and let's see how far we can get. So this version of Pac-Man is actually a little different in the sense that you'll see it has these power-ups here, and when you get it, it lets you get them for points. I just gotta find them all if I can. I kind of screwed that up, but I'll try it again. And they don't always change. You see that? I almost got killed. They're a little tricky here. So to me, it makes them more challenging. It's a lot more fun. Oops, I almost died there. So I'm gonna try to get them all here. Oh, I need one more for 3,200. Where are you? There you go. That was a little risky, but it was worth it. if I can just get them to come towards me. So you can't exactly time them because some of them, like, again, won't change. Alright. The controls are spot on. They work great. Alright, see if I can get this last one. Alright, that's it. They're all done. Go to the next level. But the game looks gorgeous. I can't even explain how good it looks in person. So this is my general pattern that I like to use. See if I get them. There we go. Oh, I meant to go up, not left. And I just didn't react in time. That was totally me. Come on, where's that last one? Yeah, I got it. Nice. I had a feeling they were going to turn there. Let's try it again. Oh, you see, he didn't change. A lot more challenging. See if it comes out. I'm just gonna go. Next board. So I'm trying to hit 200,000 on this. I got to 180-ish. I think my high score is gonna be displayed right now. It's 184,290. And this kit here, the 96-in-1, does save. It has a battery backup on there for an MB RAM. It does save high scores, so. I need that last one. Yes. Alright, let's try getting them all. See, he didn't change. Really sneaky. Oh man, I can't believe I died there. Gotta be really on top of it to get all these guys. Oops, see? Sneaky. Let's try it. I'm gonna try to get him this time. Nope. Wasn't happening. So I'll get all the stuff out now, but basically if you guys want to subscribe, this is a great channel to be a part of. So, you know, I answer questions all the time. I'm always paying attention to like comments and the description, all that kind of stuff. I put links to things. It's a great channel. Oop, and he didn't change, of course. And of course I'm on Twitter, so if you guys wanted to catch me on there. I had a lot of stuff on Twitter, believe it or not, where I would put pictures of everything I was working on. So if you're following me on Twitter, you could see exactly what I was working on with this whole thing. You know, picture by picture as I did stuff. I was really proud and I displayed it. And you guys were commenting. I was talking with you guys. So if you guys want to do that, you can always see what I'm working on. I'm on Instagram as well. Usually I post there and I'll post at Twitter at the same time. So either one or both, you can just, you know, just follow me on there. So that's about it. I do have the merchandise. I may try to renew it before Christmas. Can't make any promises. I'm just super busy with work and family and all that stuff. So this video here was an hour and a half long. And, you know, I could have easily made it 2 hours. And that's, you know, that's edited an hour and a half. So I had a lot more footage. So it does take time and effort. So I appreciate what you guys do. When you guys hit Super Chat, when I do live chats, when I do the premiere, it's really, really appreciated. It goes back into the channel anyway. So, but yeah, I do this all for free because I love it. So, so anything would be great. That'd be awesome. And I just deliver it back to you. I don't really make any profit on this at all. All right, guys. So I guess I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you'll get notified when I do work on that harness, which is going to be the next video coming out. So, all right. Take care, and I'll see you next week.